It's a beautiful Sunday, March 15th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, match, roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, always a good time, and spring break. It's awesome how spring break comes back once you're a dad, dude. It's great. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's still back, and you love it for different reasons, right?
It may not be vacation. It's a family trip, but still a trip nonetheless. And
That's right.
we are recording this in advance. Ted's got to get to his trip. I like to imagine you're on your trip celebrating just an epic run by the Oklahoma Sooners through the SEC Tournament Championship. Man, how much fun is this, dude? Just annihilated A&M.
And I got to tell you, that's not an A&M coming off of extended rest. You're playing a back-to-back with, not as much time to prepare for a team that presses like that. That's a lot on tired legs and, not having like a full session of practices to prepare for it. The thing I love the most, though, is how they're playing on defense, man. They look like a totally different basketball team. It's awesome.
Now, full transparency. We'd like to tell our listeners the truth. Ted's leaving for his trip Saturday morning. So we are actually recording this episode on Friday.
Right.
It is very possible that things haven't gone well against Arkansas. But still, no matter what happens in that game, maybe they win that game. We're in the future. We're in the past. We don't know.
Right.
But I am just so incredibly proud of how those players in Porter Moser have handled the last month.
Yep.
I mean, they could have packed it in, man, and they did not. And they've just gotten better and better and better. And you're seeing all kinds of people that cover college basketball across the country go, hey, man, is everyone paying attention to Oklahoma? They are playing some dang good ball.
They're the hottest team in the country right now. I don't know. Yes, this is all played out, but even if they don't beat Arkansas, which they're going to, but they should be in the tournament. Should be in.
You have to take into account like how the team is playing leading up to the tournament, right?
Absolutely, especially compared to almost all of the other bubble teams are not playing very good. So
come on, tournament committee, do the right thing.
My prediction, we're in.
I've said it since we've started this thing, man. The NCAA tournament is vastly better when you can irresponsibly advance your team in your bracket.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what makes it fun. And come on, tournament committee, do the right thing.
That's why everyone's brackets are horrible. Of all the millions of brackets submitted, like no one ever gets it all the way right. It's because they have their team going all the way, right?
Do we want to do the Bonitto interview first or our pro day recap first?
Ooh, I'll leave that up to you.
Let's let the people hear from one of the best in the National Football League first. How about that?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, here's one of the best pass rushers on planet Earth, Nik Bonitto. It is our pleasure to be joined by one of the best players in the National Football League. He is a two-time Pro Bowler and a fellow September 26th birthday. Nik Bonitto is in the house. What's going on, man? How we doing?
Doing well, can't complain. Happy to be on with you guys, man.
Well, hey, you finished another really good season. We were just talking before you jumped on, looking at the sack numbers. You went from 1.5 year one to 8 to 13 and a half to 14. You just keep getting better and better. What's been like, when did the light switch on, flip on for getting to the quarterback and really just taking it to another level and being, one of the best in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, that whole rookie year, it was kind of good for me. It may not have been what I wanted or, how I seen myself coming in as far as like production and playing wise, but I mean, just learning so much from like the guys in front of me and the vets that, just taught me little things as far as just like how to approach, practice meetings like a pro and things like that. And I never felt like it was a talent thing. I always felt like it was just, it was much quicker. Everything was happening in the NFL. So just learning that and just trying to be a pro was kind of like the main thing for me to help me out.
No matter where a guy is drafted, no matter kind of what the position you're in, you kind of need just your opportunity, Nick. And what was that maybe the big difference between your production in year one and making that big jump in year two? Is you just got the opportunity to play more snaps?
Yeah, I mean, I could say that for sure. I mean, it kind of just comes with everything. I mean, you got to be able to, earn your way on the field. Just trying to earn the trust of your coaches and the teammates alongside you. So, I feel like, that second year, I kind of, as time went on and more opportunities I got, I was able to earn the trust of the coaches and players and just, having that kind of just, meant everything to me because I knew I was ready. I knew I could, be a playmaker on the field. I just, needed the opportunity, and yeah.
It's also been kind of when you showed up there in Denver, it was a little bit of a transition that the Broncos were going through, a rough first season for the team, and you guys have gotten better and better. What's that been like going from, a team that's trying to find their way to, I mean, you guys had a run at it this year and obviously had some bad luck, but what's that been like all of a sudden developing this winning culture?
Yeah, man, and it was obviously, rough that first year, especially coming from Oklahoma. All we did was have winning seasons over there. So being able to, have to go through that, it kind of just showed, a lot for myself and, my teammates, just, how much we can grow and just seeing, who was going to be the people that can actually help turn this thing around. And I mean, you got to give credit to Coach Payton. I mean, we've done nothing but get better ever since he's gone here, and also the players and coaches who bought in with him. So it was rough for sure, but I mean, we found a way to get out that little hole that we was in, and we're just going to continue to try to get better each year.
I was with, it wasn't for very long, but I was with Sean Payton in New Orleans. Did you know that a Saturday night meeting could last so long and be so detailed?
See, and I always heard about the Saturday night meetings from the offensive players, and I personally don't ever want to be a part of them. So I'm just happy we have just a team meeting with him, and that's it. But I've heard those offensive meetings go crazy long. So
It's something. What his Sean brought to the Broncos organization, in your opinion, kind of from like the player's perspective?
I just think he brings like an edge, man. Like, at least just from noticing from my first year to like the next couple years I've had him, man. I mean, he just wants a bunch of dogs in the building. He wants the guys that are serious about ball, and I feel like we have that in the locker room now. We have the toughness that we're looking for, and obviously the mentality with him leading the way. So I feel like that's kind of been like the main thing, and honestly too, the togetherness and brotherhood of the team. I feel like every year gets better and better with even the guys that we're drafting or bringing in from free agency and things like that.
How about the defense? Like, what's been the transition there? Obviously, Kane's there coaching the defensive line. Just what's the development on that side of the ball been like over your 4 years?
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, just seeing, my first year to where we were, a pretty good group. I felt like we were kind of just a three-man group, and the rest of us were just kind of just like whoever can fit in, when they can. And even that next year, where our sack numbers weren't that good at all, and then as soon as Kane comes in, and we're bringing all these different players and coaches. You can see the change immediately, and that's why through the last 2 years we set the record for sacks in the franchise and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just been a continuous process, and whether it's coaches, players, and just trying to keep that continuity together.
Have have you told Coach Kane that it really has nothing to do with him? It's all about the talent of the players.
Yeah, good luck telling him that. I mean, with him, I mean,
Hey, that's my guy, man. When he was in Norman, that was my guy. He was one of my favorite coaches that we've had in quite some time. But yeah, just remind him like, hey man, this is the National Football League. This ain't college. This is about the players, baby.
it's hard to argue with him because I mean, everywhere he goes, and they always have good sack numbers. He's gotten guys drafted. Guys make all Pro Bowl and with the Broncos. So it's hard to argue with it for sure.
What was that like, going from college to the NFL? Because you were kind of is he linebacker? Is he going to play edge? I mean, I'm sure whenever you're going through the draft process, maybe some teams saw you as a different, like some team maybe had you in one spot, another team maybe saw you somewhere else. What was that whole process like? And, just transitioning into the position you're playing now, is that kind of how you always envisioned yourself?
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I kind of got to give credit to Coach Grinch when he was there because he kind of showed off that versatility to where like it kind of intrigued coaches and scouts more to where I could transition to be an off-ball linebacker if needed, and also for the teams that wanted me to be an edge rusher because the way I'm able to rush the passers. So I mean, he helped me out a lot in that front, and it kind of helped me out a lot throughout the process, and kind of boosted my value a lot, but. For the most part, a lot of guys see me as like an edge rusher, but there were teams that were like 4-3 stack backer and stuff like that. So
Speaking of value, you end up getting the big deal. And one of the things when guys sign a contract like you signed is okay, how's he going to handle this? What's the play going to be like? Is he going to relax or is he going to go out and want to do everything he can to prove he's worth that number? And my goodness, son, you proved you're worth the number. What was the mentality like for you after signing that deal and being, I believe, the highest paid Denver Bronco non-quarterback ever?
no, I mean, it was definitely humbling and, it was an honor. But at the same time, it just like I know like there's so much more out there for me. I know like I'm not even close to being at the top of my game, and I just have so many more, I have so much more room to grow in my game. So just knowing that and knowing where I can be in a couple of years, it just continues to motivate me. And obviously the contract was real nice to have and stuff like that. But I got aspirations to eventually, be one of the highest paid guys or and stuff like that, and goes beyond that. So it was definitely humbling and for sure, but I definitely have bigger aspirations.
Well, what's the plan? Like whenever you just had a really good season. Like whenever you get into the off season, like what's your how do you operate? What do you work on? What are some of the weaknesses that you think that you need to build on, or strengths that you can make even better? I guess, like, what's your game plan for getting there? I guess is the best way to ask it.
Yeah, I mean, strength and conditioning is always going to be a main part of that. Just continuously trying to, get stronger, upper and lower body, things like that. Always trying to stay in condition and making sure I'm in the best shape whenever season comes around. But I would say off season is more just, at least for me, just fine tuning the details, and pass rush and the run game, going back and looking at film, seeing the different things I can get better at, the things I didn't see, during the season that I can look at now and try to rewire my brain to see those things faster whenever they come next year. So stuff like that.
You were a finalist for AP Defensive Player of the Year. I believe one of five finalists. I think it was all edge guys, right?
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you because that is clearly a very exclusive group.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely kind of surprised when they first told me because I didn't make any of the all pro teams, and I
Yeah,
was like,
what the hell, Nick?
yeah,
What are
I
what are we
don't,
doing in Denver? We need some better lobbyists in
yeah,
Denver. We need to send out some materials. What are we doing?
yeah, don't even get me started on that. But I
Oh, I'd
mean,
like
it
to get you
was,
started because when I was doing the research, I was like, oh, he's been all pro 2 years in a row. I was like, wait, what? Guy had 14 sacks and he wasn't all pro. That seems ridiculous, especially since you guys were as good as you were defensively. I mean, what are we doing?
100%. I mean, it's just some things where like, and even like the guy that called and told me that he was like, this is kind of like a little like makeup call like that they have during the games and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'll take it at the end of the day. But it was there definitely rewarding for sure. Just knowing I can be up there with those type of guys who are the best in the position and best in the league. So, I mean, it was honoring for me to just even be, nominated for that award.
Download the Loves app from Love's Travel Stops, your guide to savings on the road. Fill up for less with the discount on fuel, 10 cents off on every gallon of gas, and 25 cents off on every gallon of auto diesel. And don't forget, in the store, you can unlock mobile deals on the Loves app to save on snacks, drinks, and select meals at Love's restaurants. Plus, you can plan your pit stops for your next road trip with the map and route planner. All from Love's, the heart of the highway.
Steaks are back. Didi Ranch's luxury steak cuts are restocked and ready to ship straight to your door. From mouth-watering ribeyes to silky smooth fillets, this is the best beef Oklahoma has to offer. And here's the kicker. They're now shipping next day air for free when you use code SOONER at checkout. That's right. Next day air like Amazon Prime, but for steak. Didi Ranch delivers taste and tradition the luxurious way.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma Sooners official drinkware partner. The weather's turning, spring break is on the calendar, and spring sports schedules are heating up. Between tournaments, weekend getaways, and afternoons spent cheering on the Sooners, you and your family are on the move. Good news. That's where Simple Modern really shines. The new Mesa Loop is built for every loop of your family's spring, from early morning games to long days on the road. It's the grab and go bottle that keeps up with it all. And like everything Simple Modern makes, it delivers serious quality at a price that makes sense. And with 10% of profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, every sip supports Oklahomans. Simple Modern, good everywhere.
What's your secret for getting to the quarterback? I know that everyone, I mean, there's a bunch of rushers out there that could do it. Some guys are, power moves, some guys are speed. I think you have a little bit of everything, but like was there ever a moment that clicked getting to the quarterback for you? It's like I've got this skill set, and apparently it's very difficult for those guys to adjust to it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say just motor, man. I mean, a lot of these offensive linemen in the league, they don't want to have to continuously play for all four quarters in the game. And a lot of them, they'll, would probably, let's say shut me down on the first move. And, that's really it for them. They don't know how to continuously try to play throughout the play. So I kind of take pride in myself to just have that motor to, outwork the offensive tackles and things like that. I don't use very many moves. I just try to have a set move plan, going into a game and just work off of that. So, but I would definitely say the biggest thing for me is motor for sure.
As a former lineman, I'd like to defend my fellow lineman real quick. I promise they're trying. I promise they're trying to not let you win with the second move. You guys are just, you edge guys are all just mutants, man. It's ridiculous.
I
Yeah,
would
but it's
say,
just, it's not fair. We're trying our best, okay?
Well, here's the bag of cash that's sitting in the backfield keeps getting bigger and bigger.
We get
Those
it.
guys
We get it. But yeah, I promise they're trying their best. Nick, now with that in mind, like what offensive tackles do you enjoy going against them? But not like guys that you're beating consistently. That's not what I'm asking. Like what guys maybe give you the most trouble where you're going into the game and you're gonna be like, hey man, this is gonna be tough today.
yeah. I'll kind of just keep it in division first for the first guy, but Rashawn Slater is a guy I feel like he's really elite. Like he definitely gives me the most problems like every time I go up against him and just how consistent he is in his sets and how strong he is as a player and just being able to be athletic the way he is. He gives guys, not just myself, but all around the league problems. So he's a guy that I can put up there and feel like Lane was really good too when we went against him this year. He's obviously a guy that's savvy. He's a vet, so I mean he knows all the tricks, and he's a guy who can manipulate the pocket, especially with the way Jay Hurts is able to move and stuff like that. So he's another really good one for sure. But I would probably say those two off the top of my head.
How awesome were the playoffs this year? I know you guys got unlucky, but that game against Buffalo was awesome.
No, 1,000%. I mean, it was definitely, one of the better games, I've been a part of in my career. Obviously just having our first home playoff game in a while and going against a team like Buffalo who's had so much success in this league and just being able to go against them and, just the fashion that we won, man. And first playoff win since 2015, I believe. So it was definitely a special moment and something I'll always cherish for sure. Also my first playoff win, so I was excited for sure.
Can we talk about the AFC Championship game or no?
Yeah, man. Sometimes it's
I
gone on already.
I mean, you give up 10 and lose. I don't know
Tough.
what more y'all could have done defensively, but what was it like knowing that you guys weren't going to have Bo Nix for that game and then for it to kind of unfold the way that it did, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, and most importantly, I mean, I felt bad for Bo just because, it was sucks that he couldn't have that moment to where, he's worked and busted his butt all season to get to that point and to just have that moment be taken away from him. I know everybody in the locker room was hurt, but we fully had trust in City and, we still do. He's a guy who put in the work, since I've been here and he's a great vet for us in the locker room. And, we have full trust in the game plan and what he was going to do. And it just didn't end up working out for us that game, but it was just another step that we took this year. That's how I kind of seen it. Obviously, we would like to go all the way, but I mean, we're just going to keep building. I mean, just every year from 8 and 9 or wherever we were to making the first round the year after, and then now being, one game away from the championship this year. So hopefully next year, we'll be able to run it back and get to that point again.
Did it make the Super Bowl hard to watch?
I
Feeling
couldn't even.
like if you didn't watch it,
I didn't watch it. I deleted Madden off my PS5. I deleted NCAA football. I couldn't watch no football for a little minute. I can't even lie.
uh,
That's fair. It's fair. I'll just say from a fan's perspective, I was sitting there going, I'd much rather be watching that Denver
Trust me,
defense.
we
I
we
think
all
everyone
we all
was.
know. Yeah, trust me. But just how it works out sometimes.
It's got to make you hungry for next year, though, right? That you guys know that you were that close, and you've got the tools, you've got all the pieces. Just you always got to have a little luck, right? And unfortunately, lost the quarterback there, but. Like what's the mindset really of the football team? And maybe you guys haven't had a chance to really get together all that much so far, but I mean, you guys have to be pretty optimistic about the future.
I mean, 1,000%. And our roster is still really young, man. I just know all the young guys are going to continue to get better and better at each position. And we're going to have, a lot of talent coming in the draft this year and through free agency and just the kind of core of the team that we're bringing back. I know it's going to be really special. So there's no reason why we shouldn't get to the same position that we were just in. And, and obviously we have higher aspirations. We want to go win the whole thing. So, but it's just going to be a process and, just steps we got to take throughout the offseason to get there.
We definitely want to talk some OU with you, but one more NFL question for you, Nick. You've got 4 years under your belt now. You've been incredibly productive. You got the big contract. You were very close to making a Super Bowl. But for you personally, in these first 4 seasons, like what's your favorite moment so far for you personally of your NFL career?
Uh, I would honestly probably say my second year when we beat the Chiefs for like the first time in so long. I can't remember how many years it was, but they were on like a crazy winning streak against us, and we were like 2-6 at the time, and we ended up beating them at home and like dominated them really, and that kind of started the little win streak and honestly the upward trajectory of our franchise, honestly. So I would probably say that game. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the dynamics have changed in the AFC all of a sudden. Like you guys have gone from chasing people. Now you're going to be right there at the top of the heap and everyone's going to be gunning for you, which is a good spot to be in.
100%, man. It's what we asked for, and we're just gonna continue to do what we do.
Clearly, you made the right decision. But how close were you for coming back for another year at OU? Come on, man. Teddy and I were talking about, we're like, he really, like, come on. He did, it would be great. It'll be with Venables. It'll be incredible. Come on.
Trust me, I remember we had a group chat. It was like a bunch of us that were like draft eligible in there, like me, Perrion Winfrey, Isaiah Thomas, Turner Yale, Asamoah. We were all in there, and we're like, low key, we could run it back. I mean, we're gonna have a really good team next year. I feel like. Obviously, we didn't know the coaching situation at the time, but even when they decided that we're going with BV, I'm like, can you imagine us all playing in that defense? I mean, y'all seen what he did at Clemson and stuff like that. But man, at the end of the day, it was just so many factors that went into it. Just with each individual's families and knowing that nothing's ever promised. If you ever did come back and stuff like that. So we ultimately made the decision. But I mean, it was definitely really close. We had so many conversations about it.
Well, it took a little time, but they got it turned around. What's it been like kind of watching the OU defense get better and better and end up having the year that they had this year?
It's been amazing, man. Just I remember, when I was leaving and just seeing meeting all the young guys like R. Mason, RJ, a lot of these guys, Peyton Bowen, Eli. I'm still close with a lot of them, and I talk to a lot of them. We play the game, and just seeing how far they've grown, each individually, and just continuously trying to get better every year. It really is something special to see, and it hurts for them because I know. We were the better team, in that playoff game against Bama. And there were just so many unfortunate situations, especially with like a guy like Mateer who was playing at such a high level before he got injured. But I have no doubt about the future of the program. I know, we're going to even be better this year with the healthy Mateer and obviously all the young guys coming back and just how much the older guys help them continuously trying to get better in the mindset that they instilled.
It's interesting. Guys go from OU to the NFL, and there's like all kinds of different levels of how involved guys want to be, like how in tune they stay with the program. And it stood out to me like you want to be involved, Nick. Like you're keeping up with everything. What's the reason for that? And like how do you envision staying involved with OU football?
Yeah, man, I don't know how much I can say about this honestly, but I've like talked to Coach Nagy about just like finding different ways to help out with the program and stuff like that. So we have that in the works, but I mean, I just want to see us, succeed, in any way possible. And if I can find a way to have a, helping hand in that or in any way that I can, I'll just be grateful. But I have no doubts about where the program is going at all, man. And I think OU fans should be excited about it.
You got to do what you can. You got to win those locker room bets whenever teams are facing up over the weekend.
That's right. It's a good financial investment to help the
No
program
doubt.
out for you with those
No
the
doubt.
locker room bets.
100%.
Our Mason Thomas, like watching the way he rushes the passer, what do you see? What do you like about his game, and how do you think it will translate to the NFL?
I think he's going to be a really good player, man. And obviously, there's so much that goes into it with fit and just being able to find the right role on the team. But I mean, he has it all, man. He has the speed, obviously. He has good size. He has way more strength than I was when I came out, and just how powerful is he in his lower body and being able to move guys off their spot, man. I think he has it all right now, and I know whoever takes him, when that time comes, I know they're gonna have a really good player on their hands for sure.
I do want to talk a little bit about like your time at OU. It's starting to feel, just because of the coaching change and everything, it feels like a while ago now, and it
Thanks.
really isn't that long ago. What what maybe we all kind of have like our favorite games when you think back to your college career. What are a couple of your favorite games, Nick?
Obviously, Baylor, I think it was what?
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah,
That game was
2019.
so crazy.
That was insane game. Not only because like my play, but just like how we were able to fight back in that game and battle back on the road where, it was just us and going against the whole crowd at Baylor and just us being able to come back and win that game. It was real special. And then I would probably say Texas my last year too. Just kind of being in that same way where, we were down so much in the beginning and it looked like nothing was going to go right. And even just the whole QB controversy thing with, putting Caleb in and, we've still found a way to end up winning that game. So that was pretty crazy to me for sure.
I think, and I'm trying to think of like in modern OU football, two better comebacks than those two, Ted.
I don't. That's got to be it.
Those are head and shoulders the two best comebacks I can recall. And
I can't even remember any other comebacks other than
those
two.
I mean, and Nick was part of both of them. Like, that had to be, and we were part of both of them as the radio guys. And I was basically on the field at Texas in that comeback.
I still think the 21 Texas game is,
oh my gosh,
maybe the best football game I've ever witnessed. That was crazy.
100%.
I will take credit. I told Kennedy Brooks going into the locker room, I was like, they're not that good. You can beat them. Go make everyone in that locker room believe. I was like this far from his face. He probably was like, why are you that close to my face?
That's funny.
Oh, what an epic comeback.
1,000%.
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. Schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
And head to the garage for hand smashed patties, butter toasted buns, and ice cold beer. My go-to is the double bison cheeseburger. It's so good. The garage is the perfect spot to watch any big game, and you can enjoy Rad Hour every day. Enjoy discounted domestic beers, house wines, draft cocktails, and frozen cocktails Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you or order online from the garage in your neighborhood.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
As you're watching the Sooners now, Nick, and Teddy and I have battled with this. Are you just a little jealous that these guys are getting to play at those SEC stadiums? Because we went to Tennessee this year, we went to Bama this year, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's a little different than Kansas, okay?
I'm not gonna lie, it's really everything, not even just like the SEC stadiums and being able to play against the competition. I go into the facility and it's completely different now. They got all these new type of, things to, help with your body and things like that. And just even, obviously playing for BV and that defense and just how elite it's been. And I'm like, dang, like I wish we could have played on a great defense like that, been top 5 in every category and things of that nature. So I mean, this is so much going right with them right now, and it's just I can't help but just be happy just looking at it and seeing just how much the improvements are going.
You mentioned the like in 21 with the quarterback situation. What was that like from the defensive side? Kind of seeing what was going on offensively and the quarterback situation and how that was all playing out. What was your side of the ball? What were you guys talking about when that was happening?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just with how like my career has went at OU, I feel like as the defense, we didn't really have no room to talk because there was a point in time where we were the ones trying to figure things out, and the offense had everything going. So we just did nothing but encourage them, and Obviously, it was like some QB controversy. So, I mean, we just try to keep both of their heads up and, just made sure, like, the number one thing is we want to win football games. And if either of you guys can help with that, we don't care. We just want to win and we want you guys to succeed. So, yeah, we were there for them, supporting them, all the way through. And, it actually worked out. Both of them are in the NFL right now playing really good
Hey,
ball. So,
the Bears are coming. The
no,
Bears are
facts.
coming.
Yeah, they're gonna be a problem with going forward. So it's they're both really good players too. So
You, you mentioned that like when you were at OU and you're the best player on those defenses, but things weren't going the way that you guys wanted to go under Alex Grinch. Like what was it like? Because it's impossible to block out all the outside noise, right? With all the social media stuff. And man, it got, you know how our fan base can be. Like
yeah.
it got, I don't want to say toxic, but it got a little uncomfortable. That conversation, like, what was that experience like for you and for the other guys on the defense?
And they were right to have it. I mean, guys like Teddy set a standard here defensively at Oklahoma, and we weren't living up to that standard. And obviously we wanted to. We had the players, and we had the talent to do it, but we just could never just I feel like figure it out and be all together at one. Especially that 21 season, I feel like was definitely our best defense since I've been there, and we just could never find a way to be on the same page. For all four quarters. And, we had glimpses of good moments and, just being the good defense that we wanted to be. But we just never, could be on the same page. And it was rightfully so for, OU fans to be mad. We had a really good talent and, we just didn't live up to that standard.
Yeah, it was a it was a crazy year for a lot of reasons. What was that? What was the Lincoln Riley situation at the end of that year? What was that whole as that played out? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think too much of it. I'm not the type to just like, just see the stuff on social media and like, oh, like, it is what it is. But yeah, obviously there was rumors about Coach Riley, towards the end of that year. And even I don't know how much to believe in it, but like after like the fact when he left, like a lot of the offensive guys were like he kind of was like checked out a little bit going into the Oklahoma State game. And yeah, I mean, it kind of was just that. And, obviously the game happened and we ended up losing. And he told us like a couple, days or that after that game that he wasn't planning on leaving to go to LSU and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, that next morning, kind of everything hits and we get that message that, he wants to meet with us in the team meeting room. And, he eventually told us, why he did what he did and where he decided to go and stuff like that. So I don't have any like ill will towards him. Obviously he felt like he had to do what he needed to for his family and just his career moving forward. So, but yeah, that's kind of how everything went down.
It's gone really well for him, so that's good. But one of the cool parts about the success you've had on the field, Nick, is being able to start your family foundation. Which, when you're out there making plays and bringing in the amount of money you are, you can use that money to go help a lot of people. Like, what was the inspiration behind establishing the Bonitto Family Foundation?
I mean, it's just knowing the situation that I was in growing up with, my mom having to work so much to support two kids and just providing the way that she did. I wanted to be able to eventually get to a point in my life where, I want to give back to people like that who may not have everything they need. And, if there's any way that I can try to support them, whether it's, financially or, things like that. I want to be able to help, any way I can to, bring families together, communities together. And I feel like with the foundation, I feel like we're doing a really good job with that. Not only in just the Denver community, but giving back, to my hometown in Florida and things like that. So.
What do you guys so where's your focus? Do you got have you had any events or what's your vision of that in the future?
Yeah, so we have multiple events in Denver, whether it's, turkey drives, toy drives in Denver, or trying to think what else has been pretty recent. Those probably were the most recent things, but even just football camps and doing things to help supporting the community and doing a little bit back home with football camps and, donations and stuff like that. So we're just going to continue to try to, build, each year and continue to try and do more and more because I definitely feel like there's more out there for me in the Denver community and just being able to give back in any way I can. So
You're going to love this, Ted. I was doing a little foundation research last night. Sacks of Joy by Saint Nick.
Yes.
A good Christmas pun, a good Santa pun. It's fantastic.
I love
it. Whoever came up with that deserves a raise, Nick.
100%. The team does a great job, and that event was crazy because there's a bunch of toys and new stuff coming out, and all I see is the kids at the candy store just trying to get candy the whole time. Like this is a new day and age of kids, man. Nobody wants the toys, video games anymore. Oh man,
times change quickly. Now, I also a little birdie told me, are you trying to become a YouTube star? What's going on with this? We got a little new side project.
Yeah, a little something, a little side project. Just trying to continuously trying to build my fan base up, just get people to know me outside of football and just showing a different side of me in that way. And I feel like a lot of my friends and stuff like that have told me like I should just put myself out there more. So that's just something new I'm trying now. So yeah, it's been pretty cool so far.
Look at
I'm gonna
Bonitto.
check it out. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Look at Bonitto getting out of the comfort zone. He used to be a super quiet guy, would barely say a couple words to us, Ted, and now look at him, YouTube star.
We may have to do a collab, do it in the weeds or something with Nick.
Just let me know.
The passer.
Yeah, we do some stuff where we kind of break down some plays, X's and O's, Y's, and you may be able to bring some expertise to one of those breakdowns.
Any way I can, man. I'll come back and help. It don't matter to me.
Well, I like it, man. Anything else? We want to make sure that Sooner Nation supports you in any way we can. And dude, it's so awesome seeing you have the success that you're having. It's fantastic. I have an absolute blast watching you in that Denver defense, even though Jamar Cain really has nothing to do with your success.
Nah, man, I have nothing on my front, man. I just wanted to come on and just, chop it up with two OU greats, man, and just, kind of give back to the OU family a little bit. So, yeah, that's about it.
I will say the little nugget, I don't know how much I could talk about it with Nagy.
Yeah.
I think some OU fans are going to go, what was that about? But we won't pry. We'll just leave it at that. It's a little sometimes it's better to just leave things that way, Ted?
That's right. That's right. Hey,
Nick, you're the best, man. Oh,
20 next year. 20.
Oh, that's the goal. That's the goal for sure.
That's the goal. 20. Let's go.
That's the goal.
Oh, now all these coordinators in the AFC are going to be like, we're chipping. We're chipping Bonitto. He wants 20. We can't let him get it. You're the best, Nick. Thanks for the time, man.
Yep, appreciate you guys.
For all of us Sooners, there comes a time when we need help. We need someone to fight for us, and that Sooner is Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. If you are battling cancer or any other life-threatening condition and your insurance carrier is either slow playing or outright denying your treatment, use the law to get the medical care you need. Marr Law Firm believes you shouldn't have to fight your insurance company while also fighting for your life. Go to see Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. They turn victims of insurance bad faith into champions.
We are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. With America's largest network of parts and care, Napa has the products, people, and knowledge you need to keep your vehicle ready to hit the road. Backed by a nationwide network of nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and 18,000 Napa Auto Care centers, you're never far from the parts you need to stay ahead of the curve. Whether it's your AC, oil change, cleanup, or tune-up, visit your local Napa Auto Parts or NapaOnline.com for all your automotive needs.
And three things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise. It's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code OB10 for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear around. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code OB10. Buttery soft and 10% off. All right, Ted, let's finish up recapping what we saw at OU's Pro Day. First and foremost, man, there are a lot of NFL people there.
Yes, there was.
Which is typically a very good sign.
Yeah. Yep. And not a big surprise after the Senior Bowl and the Combine that a lot of our guys threw down. It's not a surprise that, scouts, coaches, people wanted to be there and see these guys, have a little closer interaction with them.
I wanted to start by asking you this. The Chicago Bears had like everyone there. GM was there. I think like assistant GM, multiple coaches. I was looking at their picks. I think they've got the 25th pick. And then round 2, they've got 57th as well. They've also got the 60th pick. But who are they there for?
That's kind of the R. Mason Thomas range and maybe Gracen Halton range with how he's performed.
Deion Burks range with how he looked.
Yeah.
Not the first round pick, but the second rounders. I think Halton and Burks both have a really good chance of going in the second round.
I'm also really interested where I think Febechi in a lot of like the mock drafts and stuff, like I don't think he's rated high enough personally.
I think a lot of teams are going to view him as the starting center.
Yeah.
Remember the Bears center retired, but they brought in a center. So I just thought it was really interesting because typically if a GM is showing up and Rod Poles was there, typically it's because you got like a slam dunk first round guy.
Yeah.
But it just, I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah. Not a bad place to go right now. Bears are starting to round into shape really nicely.
Yeah. So I found it really interesting. And that's where as we were doing the Pro Day broadcast, I kept going, I wonder who he's really got his eye on, But let's talk about the guys that stood out to you. Where's the conversation start with what we saw at OU Pro Day?
Well, I think you got to start with Jaydn Ott, right? It's not a surprise. We knew athletically that he was going to perform really well, and he started right out of the gate with the vertical that got everyone there oohing and on, going over 40 inches. Great broad jump. End up running a really nice 40 time in the mid 4.4s. Looked smooth, looked really athletic, has just a glide and a bounce to his step that looks really good, especially like in that environment, where it's open field and you can let your athleticism show. So, and I know it's frustrating for the fan base. I get that, but Jaydn Ott had himself a really nice day.
It was, I feel like it just adds to the mystery of that whole situation,
Yeah. Yep.
And to Ott's credit, like he fielded all the questions afterwards from the media. And I thought he was very honest. And I don't think there's any ill will on either side. You know what I mean? It just, It's always going to be one of those situations where we're all wondering, like, what happened there? Because clearly, you look at the numbers, the guy's a heck of an athlete. Yeah. Now, that's not everything in football. We all know that. But the fact that you couldn't get any production from a guy that runs 4.46, jumps 40 and a half, and broads 10.11, it's just strange. I mean, that's the best way to put it. It's just strange, dude.
Yeah, and you factor in that we were banged up and limited at running back, for a big portion of the season. And, you never know. And whenever you introduce money into the equation, it really ramps up the emotions on every side. So it's a fascinating story. Maybe we'll get all the deets at some point, but he performed well. Like whenever as we were going through it, you were comparing his numbers to the combine numbers, and he's right there towards the top of the list in most every category.
Yeah, I think the vert would have been second best at the combine, and the broad would have been tied for first.
Yeah, and the 40 was probably top 5, top 8.
So athleticism, not the issue, clearly.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know, it'll be an extremely interesting evaluation process for that guy.
Yep, totally agree.
Because that's
teams play a part. Yeah,
yeah. Teams are looking at those numbers, going, yeah, we can work with those."
And
but the guy didn't play.
Here's the thing, and we talked about this on the broadcast with a guy like Robert Spears-Jennings, who, athletically has looked fantastic. But a big part of the evaluation also is what's the coaching staff say whenever these GMs, these scouts get in there in in an environment with the coaches, because these coaches got to say, they got to tell the truth, right? Or you risk credibility in the future on guys. So I mean, that part of Jaydn Ott's situation will be fascinating to see, like, what the feedback is whenever the scouts dig into the story.
We didn't see anything from R. Mason Thomas or Gracen Halton.
Not surprising.
Not surprising. Those guys, feeling good about what they did throughout the pre-draft process.
We did see the strangest bench press we've ever seen from Gracen Halton.
That's true. Okay. He hit 25 reps, which is, it checks the box. You move on. You're good. But it's maybe the most impressive 25 reps of 225 I've ever seen. He narrow gripped it and never touched his chest with the bar.
No. And like Febechi, what he hit 30 on the bench.
I think they gave him 29. Yeah.
29.
Which with his arm length, my goodness, that's an awesome number.
But I talked about this on the broadcast. One of the most important things is how fast you bring it. You want to pull it down and just bounce it off the chest, which Febechi, I thought, did a great job of that. I mean, Gracen Halton could have hit 10 more. I don't, at least maybe more than that. The difference in like stopping, like you are stopping all the way with your chest muscles and then punching it, compared to letting your chest stop it and just hitting it catching it on the way up. Crazy impressive. I hope everyone else saw the same thing. Like the scouts there, like, because that is a totally different way of doing it that I've never seen, and really way more impressive.
I don't know why he did it that way, but we're talking about it, so it left an impression with us. All the football guys that were in that building, they were thinking the same thing, like, what is this crazy SOB doing?
Yeah.
And he just kept going and going. I was like, this is incredible.
We were like, he's not even touching, he's not touching his chest, which, there's a reason nobody stood up and said, no rep, you start over, you got to touch your chest, because it's infinitely harder doing it the way that he was doing it.
Hey, G-Baby does things a little differently, I suppose.
I like it.
It was impressive, man. It was
really
one of those, I was like, oh my gosh. All right, what else? What else stood out?
Burks.
Oh my gosh.
Whew. Man, did he just physically look good. The explosiveness, the speed, the change of direction, look good running routes. I mean, just
pop the top off when the route started.
No doubt.
Shorts disappeared, shirt disappeared, and it was like, okay, yeah, that's a good looking 184 or whatever he is.
Yeah, he looked great. And again, I know he's another frustrating situation to a point, and like I don't think it has anything to do with him or his ability. It just was not a great environment to get the best out of Deion Burks with his time here. He had some really nice plays, some awesome moments, but the consistency offensively just wasn't there. He needs space. right? And we as an offense have not been great at creating a bunch of space for these wide receivers to work over the last couple of years. And I think there's going to be a lot of NFL teams that say, like in the NFL game with all the space that you can create on the field, like he's got a chance to be really good.
I think just watching the on the field stuff, you were looking at it going, that's a starting wide receiver in the National Football League. Like I think everyone was seeing the same thing. One thing I will say about his on the field stuff, he did drop a couple balls.
Yeah.
And that has been something that has been an issue for him practicing like kind of his entire career, going back to Purdue and his time at Oklahoma. That piece does need to get cleaned up a little bit, and I'm confident it will for him. But other than a couple drops, I'm not sure it could have gone any better for him. He just looked so sudden, so explosive. Having the shirt off certainly added to it as well. It's just the truth. I think he only helped himself even more, and that you clearly have to combine what he did with his 40 at the combine with what he just did with these position drills at pro day. Seems like he's had a really good pre-draft process, Ted.
He has definitely separated himself as a physical outlier amongst a group of really good wide receivers. Now, he has some limitations size-wise, right? But I would almost say that given his skill set and his athleticism, that I don't even think it's like he's a different frame. He's not a 6'3" outside wide receiver. So I almost like I don't even really knock him for his stature at all with what he can do athletically.
Play him in the slot. Don't overthink it.
Yep.
Just let him be an explosive guy out of the slot.
Motion,
don't overthink it.
Moving behind the line of scrimmage, getting some moving starts whenever you snap the ball, work the middle of the field. Yeah, I think he has definitely improved his draft stock since the end of the season.
The Heinecke situation's interesting.
Yeah.
We're not going to fall for it. We're not going to start believing that he's going to be in crimson and cream. And he said it afterwards, full steam ahead with the NFL stuff. There's talks about injunctions. How would that work out? How does the program feel about it? Then it would go to probably like, what happens if the NCAA appeals? What would that mean? What does it go to the state court then? How do they feel about their it's a lot, man. But just evaluating what he did at Pro Day, he is such a smooth mover in those cover drills, man. It is, you could see some of that change of direction, then drive on the ball type stuff. You could see all those scouts going, they immediately, once they saw it, they all started writing stuff down. Like, it looks exactly how you want it to look from Owen Heinecke.
Crisp, sharp cuts, good footwork, good, just body control in open spaces. And, the thing with him is his film is going to look fantastic. He makes a bunch of wow plays, flying downhill, effort plays all over the field. Special teams film is fantastic. Yeah, I think Owen Heinecke has done. I mean, he's another guy. Like, you can pretty much go down the list with everyone. He probably closed the season as a guy that's not on a whole lot of people's radar as a draft pick, but a guy that you could get into camp, Senior Bowl, Combine. He's definitely getting drafted.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes a little earlier, maybe than a lot of people think, just because it's been a weird process for him.
Yeah.
But you just know he's one of those guys, like you hear scouts, GMs talk about it all the time, like, hey, who's your like pound the table guy?
Yep.
Who's the guy you're willing to pound the table for and like risk your job on? Heinecke falls into that category. Like it's one of those where you're like, we need this guy on our team.
Yeah.
That's just the type of player, and that factors in the special team stuff, the mental makeup, like all that stuff. He's made of the right stuff, man. He just is.
He is. He's a team builder. He's a guy that you want in your locker room. That there'll have to be some development from him physically, some adjustment to the game, but he's one of those guys that if he gets into the right system and it clicks, he's a guy that could play a long time and can be one of those guys that you want in the locker room as a leader on a football team because he checks every single box. Like physically, athletically, the film, all that stuff is fantastic. But the best part about him, maybe when you get him in a meeting room and talk and start to have a deep conversation with the guy.
Let's keep breaking down what we saw at OU's Pro Day. But first, guys, it's time to make the switch to the Ridge Wallet 2.0. You need to head to ridge.com/OKBreakdown right now to take advantage of Ridge's once-a-year anniversary sale where you can get up to 40% off. The days of the super fat wallet that hurts to sit on are over. Make the switch to this sleek modern design that can hold up to 12 cards and cash. And Ridge has over 50 colors and styles to choose from. They're also going to give you free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all of their products. This is literally the last wallet you'll ever have to buy. And Ridge wallets also have RFID blocking technology that keeps you safe from digital pickpocketers. Right now, Ridge is having their once-a-year anniversary sale. So head to ridge.com/OKBreakdown to get up to 40% off. That's up to 40% off at ridge.com/OKBreakdown. After you check out, they'll ask you where you heard about them. So make sure you support our show and tell them we sent you. And we are brought to you by Square, your all-in-one business partner making your day-to-day easier. From point-of-sale systems and payments to inventory and customer tools, Square brings everything together in one simple platform so you can stay organized, sell anywhere, and keep things moving. No matter what business you're running, Square gives you the flexibility to grow at your own pace and even set up an online store in just a few clicks. And right now, listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/OKBreakdown. That's SQUARE.com/go/OKBreakdown. Visit Square to get started because the right tools make all the difference. Square keeps us up so you don't have to slow down. Get everything you need to run and grow your business without any long-term commitments. And why wait? Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/OKBreakdown. That's SQUARE.com/go/OKBreakdown. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today. Kendal Daniels did not look healthy to me.
Yeah.
He runs a 4.75 in the 40. And remember, he didn't do anything like any of the testing stuff at the combine. And it just, I don't know, Ted, it just didn't look right. Like he's not a 4.75 guy when you turn on the tape. Right. There's no way. So I just hope whatever's bothering him, I hope it's not that big of a deal because he did not look, when you watch his 40, there's guys that run really, really relaxed, right? I get that. Mm-hmm. But he almost looked like he couldn't get it into the top gear. That's how it looked to me, at least.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's like he was, I'll go run and throw down a number for you, but it doesn't feel like it was an all out, like maybe he was scared to really, not scared, protecting against pushing the gas really hard on something. Well, I don't know. It's hard
typically to if you're scared to step on the gas, especially coming out of the blocks, it's one of two things. Hammy, or then you get into a really scary situation as you work down the leg and you're talking like calf Achilles area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just how it looked to me. I mean, he did not look like he was willing to step on the gas. And I hate that for him, man. because
Yeah.
it's your pro day. You want to be at your best. You want to perform your best, and you look at the numbers, and it just it does not match up with the tape to me.
Right.
Like
Totally agree.
4.75, I mean 29.5-inch vert.
And I think on the vertical, I think he just jumped once.
So it's just
And they typically go 3 or 4 times. And
he looked smooth and efficient in position drills, but he also he didn't look fast. It's just
it was his best. The best portion for him was the movement drills. He looked. Now you could see the defensive background and some of the pedal and drive stuff, and I think if there's something going on there that he's working through, that'll be passed on, discussed with scouts and everything. And he's an interesting case. I definitely think, the one thing that he's kind of got working against him is maybe like, where do people see him as a player? He's got the safety background. He played that nickel / cheetah position for us more as like the Sam Backer style of cheetah. He's kind of an edge body type. So I don't know. You've got those different things working. Not exactly sure what position people see him at at the next level.
yeah. No, that's a really good point. What'd you think of what we saw from Kanak? Excuse me. What'd you think of what we saw from friend of the pod, Jaren Kanak?
I thought he looked great. He's incredibly athletic, and he's another guy. Just talking about Kendal, like what position is he going to play at the next level? I think Kanak is in that same boat, but I think maybe in a much more positive sense that, could he slim down and play like a slot receiver type? Could he be a fullback, put another 5-7 pounds on, a move tight end? Like there's a lot just because of the speed, the athleticism, how good he is with the ball in his hands after the catch. I think there's a lot of things there that teams are going to be really intrigued by.
It all comes down to an offensive coordinator going, I feel like I can use that guy as a chess piece.
Mm-hmm.
Just moving all around. And I played with Taysom Hill in New Orleans, and that guy was a freak athlete.
Yep.
By the way, but you could just do so many different things with him. Line him up in the backfield, line him up in the slot, put him in the core. Like, will there be a team that views Kanak that way, or is there a team that's going to go, hey man, maybe lose 10 pounds, maybe lose 12 pounds, and we'll play you like as a jumbo slot, and then we can put you in the backfield. We can do different things. And that at his pro day, ran a bunch of routes coming out of the backfield, looked really natural, catching the ball, turning upfield, doing all that stuff. Looked really good, running vertical routes down the field. So I'm so interested in what happens with him. I just all he needs is for someone to like see the vision of what he can be as a player and embrace it and like carve out the niche for him.
Yeah.
And then there's the special teams piece, of course.
No doubt. That's right where I was going. It's always the more you can do. And if you don't necessarily fit directly into a box, if you can back that versatility up with core special teams, like we know he can, that works in his favor in a big way.
Yeah. Anything else? I thought Febechi, I know that his 40 time isn't great, but I thought he looked really smooth and athletic running it. Sometimes
he looked great out there.
Yeah. Sometimes for an O lineman, it's more important to look good doing it than what the actual time is. You know what I mean? Like his arm drive, his knee drive, like it's about as athletic as a 5.35 can look.
That's what I was about to say. Like, we were watching the view from straight ahead. So he's running at us in the camera. And I'm like, just grab that clip and slow it down, right? Just get him in his running form with those big old long arms. He looked like a starting NFL offensive lineman walking around out there. The long arms, the build traps, like the tapered ways. He looked really good.
Huge arms, narrow waist, like just almost comically large thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yes, that is the starting center in the National Football League. Book it.
That's
And I
right.
thought he did a lot of drills, right?
Drills look good.
They did a
Explosive.
lot of drills, and I was talking to him after, like there's some things that are different about center. Like he doesn't know. Like I was talking about to him about how kind of your feet and your head are connected. They're kind of like on a string together in some of the zone stuff and like some of the stuff that he can work on when it comes to like the angle of his chest and how you control that with your hips and your diaphragm. And he was looking at me like, yeah, man. But he's
Yeah.
kind of he's a smart guy. He's kind of an O-line nerd guy. And
Yep.
he was like, dude, let's work together. I was like, you don't want that. I'm a psycho. Don't tell me that.
I'll say though, you're right. I think that aside from the consistency, the amount of starts that he put together, all of those things, but you combine with the incredibly smart dude with a great work ethic, I think he's in a really good spot.
Yeah. Marvin Jones Jr. thought that he looked his best. Now he put up a 34.5-inch vert to go with the 4.69 he ran at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought honestly he looked his best in the drill work where he was like striking bags.
Yep. And
Two hands to one hand.
stuff.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like,
Yep.
and then he did the stuff where he showed how he can move out in space, like dropping into coverage. He's another guy that you look at the testing numbers and they're not going to blow you away, but he did some really good things in the 2025 season. Like he's going to get an opportunity.
Yep.
It's just I'm not so sure what type of edge he is in the NFL.
Yep. The film looks good. He put some really good stuff on film. Can anchor and play the run really good. Has some stuff in the pass rush game. Dropped into coverage at times. Just really technically sound for his final season. And he's a guy that can do a lot of things for you. We were talking like his frame. In my opinion, his frame, it's there to be able to add weight. Like I can see him carrying 265 pounds with not much of a problem at all, and maybe even more than that. So I thought he looked versatile, kind of checked all the boxes that he can do a lot of stuff. And like I said, the film's going to look really good for him.
Derek Simmons was noticeably lighter.
Yep.
I mean, weighed in at 295. He was playing at 320, 325 during the season. I thought his best stuff was the drill work.
Totally.
I mean, he's not a guy that's going to wow you athletically, and we'll see. With some of his medical history, I think that's going to be an issue. But we'll see what it ends up looking like for him. I thought the actual football stuff was when he looked his best, and using his length, bending. I thought that stuff looked pretty good. You mentioned RSJ; he had the 38-inch vert at Pro Day, which. Check the old box. Remember when 38 inches for a vert was like, whoa. Yeah. Now it's just like, oh, that's pretty good. It's crazy, dude. These guys are getting ridiculously athletic.
Yeah, especially when you go throw down a 4.32 at the combine. It's like it's hard to excite anyone else with any of the other numbers. But I thought he looked good. He looked good in the drills. He's got great measurables, position versatility. Film looks good. Coaching staff is going to be very positive whenever you ask, you get into interviewing and asking them about what type of player he is. Robert Spears-Jennings had a great offseason.
Keontez Lewis, I think he kind of checked the boxes of showing the level of athleticism, kind of like checking all those, like, hey, there's just a certain speed and explosiveness you have to have to get a chance as an NFL wide receiver. And I think he did what he needed to do. 4.58, 34-inch vert, 10.3 broad. It's ultimately going to come down to, can he get open?
Yeah.
And when you've got that athletic profile, it comes down to just being an expert route runner and knowing how to use your body, use your arms, use your weight, use your shoulders to create space. Because you're not going to, let's be real, you're not going to run by a bunch of people running 4.58. But out of all the guys that did all the testing, whether the combine or pro day, like Keontez Lewis, what I saw from him on film, and then what I saw from the testing, it matched up the best, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know what? I want to know what his arm length measurement is.
Looks long, dude.
Well, because he's 6'1", but like his catch radius, it feels like he's a 6'3" type of target or 6'4" target, doesn't it? Like whenever he's over the middle and you feel like a ball is kind of a little high, he just snags it, doesn't have to jump and leave his feet. So I think his catch radius is bigger than what you would think at 6'1". So, and he looked good running routes.
We hit everyone.
Mateer looked good throwing the ball.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. It looks different. I know that.
Stripped down version, more efficient, higher release point. Now you got to understand the setting, right? He's got no rush. He's got no offensive line in front of him, but it looked like a back to the basics throwing motion from Mateer for sure.
Really quiet with his feet.
Yep.
Much more over the top with his delivery. Yep. And to his credit, he was throwing super catchable balls to these guys.
Yeah.
Like he knew the assignment, which shows some great football intelligence. It wasn't his pro day. It was these guys' pro day. He threw super catchable balls to the defensive guys and the offensive guys. Yeah, I thought he did a really nice job, but the fundamentals, the mechanics, you got to be excited, man. It looked really good. It looked really efficient. It looked really calm and quiet. And this is the way I've always looked at it. Are your feet connected to what your upper body's doing as a quarterback? Mm-hmm. And everything looked very connected for John Mateer as he was throwing at pro day. Very connected. And if it looks like that during the season, it's just, he is going to be a better passer. It's just going to happen.
Right. No, I agree. And I kind of frame it this way with Mateer for the last season. Great players make the difficult look easy, right? And he can do that. The problem last year is a lot of times he made the easy stuff look difficult with some of the sidearm stuff and, the fading away from pressure whenever he didn't need to. This Mateer at pro day looked like a guy that's going to make the easy stuff look really easy, right? Quiet feet, good base under him, easy, smooth release, a little bit higher, some of the exotic release points and footwork stuff we didn't see out there. But again, is that because of the situation? No rush, no O-line in front of you. I don't know, but it translated really well to what we were viewing.
He didn't leave the ground once.
No, look good.
It was, I think, the best word for it. It's really encouraging, man.
Yes, agree.
When we had BV on, he told us, like, John he knows what he needs to work on, and the fundamentals were way up there towards the top of the list. I'd say that, and kind of understanding defense and coverage and knowing where to go with the ball, like decision making. I feel like those were the two biggest things for him to work on this offseason, the decision making piece, and then get back to basic fundamentals as a passer.
Yep, I agree.
And There was no coverage out there at Pro Day, but we got to see some of the fundamentals, and it was very encouraging.
I totally agree. Looked smooth, looked efficient. Again, I would call it a stripped down version of what we saw from a year ago. A lot of the movement has been taken away, and it just looked very calm, very efficient. I like it.
I don't want to get too excited, but it looked really good. You just got to call it how you see it. Looked really good. Really good. Birthday shout outs. Happy 9th birthday to Cooper James Robinson.
Happy 30th birthday to Andrew Calvert.
Happy 54th birthday to Keontez Spears.
And happy birthday to Hart Holden.
On that note, episode 614 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Wednesday. Lane Johnson.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
And hey, Lane Johnson with a little Q&A sprinkled in. How about that?
Fun episode.
Yeah. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope you all have a great start to your week. And until next time, we appreciate you all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.